is fun is because this is the absolute very first time I've ever been on stage where it's not been a church. Believe it or not, I'm a Baptist preacher. One laugh. It's hard. I know it's hard to believe, but I am. I'm not a former. I still am, but I'm not a pastor. I used to be a pastor. I pastored for 14 years, and but I'm not pastoring now. So they're not paying me to be good. I'm just good for nothing. and so, but along with the same time that I pastored. By the way, where's the red light supposed to be? They said this is my first time here. This is my first time doing comedy, except when I preach, And but when I was pastoring all those years, 14 years, I was also driving a school bus. How many of you rode a school bus? Yeah. Wow, you survived. I drove that big old big old thing, 30,000 pounds, 30 feet long, and just a death trap on the road. Well, not really a death trap, it's more like a prison, future, everybody on there, you can pretty much, you're going to be in cell 4, you're going to be in cell 5. Because, it was disgusting. As a matter of fact, church, when I, going to church, being in church all the time can increase your faith in God. But driving a school bus can destroy your faith in humanity. I mean, this is our future. It doesn't look right. But anyway, there was some good things that happened on the bus. I mean, there was some things that matter of fact, I actually wrote a book. It's called Life Lessons from the School Bus. You can look it up on Amazon or whatever. But there's this one time, though, that I was driving a bus and everything was going well. And I got tapped on the shoulder from a little girl, 5th grader. I won't tell you, I won't give you a real name. Let's just Dolly Taylor, okay? And maybe you can figure out what she looked like. She was a very proper little girl. But she come up and she tapped me on the shoulder and she said, "Mr. Baker." She had that accent, "Mr. Baker." And I said, "What?" She wasn't supposed to be standing there. She said, "Demetrius is spitting on me." And I'm like, "What?" She says, "He's spitting on me." And I'm like, "All right, go sit down. Demetrius, quit spitting on Dolly." All right, I'm driving a little bit further down the road. Guess who comes up and taps me on the shoulder? Demetrius. "Mr. Baker, I wasn't spitting on nobody. Dolly's the one that's spitting on everybody. She's spitting on the seat. Go sit down, okay? Somebody's going to get killed. Go sit down. Go sit down. And it's not safe. And so, Dolly, quit spitting." Dolly comes back up. "Mr. Baker, what? It's really him that's spitting on people, not me." I said, "All right, fine." She said, "But I can prove it." "All right, how are you going to prove it?" "Because he was eating green candy and I'm not. His spit's green and mine's not, see?" I'm driving this big old bus, and next thing I know, I got this puddle of spit right in front of my face. And I'm gagged. I tell Hillary to go sit down. But I want to tell about this story later. And I go to her and I ask her, I said, "Do you mind if I put you in a book?" And she says, "I don't know, I don't read." But, so, yeah, I said, "Seriously?" And she said, "Sure." I said, "But I need to ask you a question." I said, "If there's a moral to this story," I'll refresh your memory about it. "If there's a moral to this story, what would you think it should be?" And she sat there and she thought for a minute and she said, "Sometimes the truth is nasty." And that is definitely the truth. Sometimes the truth is nasty. And that became a really good illustration. And if I can say anything about the what a preacher needs is good illustrations. And so I come to a place like this, and you never know who you're going to run into. You could be my next illustration. There's a lot of people that, have you ever noticed how there's some people out there that look a certain way? They can be any kind of way. I mean, whatever color hair, whatever piercings, whatever tattoos, whatever dressing. And I'm not saying anything like that's bad. It's just that when you see them, you're like, do I look at them or do I not look at them? They don't want to see them me looking at them. I don't want them to see me looking, because then they may think I'm looking at them. And I don't want to be looking at them, but oh my gosh. And it's like, no, that's not nice for me to look at them. I don't want to be judgmental. Man, I would let my daughter out of the house like that. And then you look at them though, and then the next thing they're looking at you, and they're like, what you looking at? You. That's what I'm looking at. And it's like, you never know who you're going to run into, and you never know what situation you're going to get into. Life is always unpredictable, and the people that you're going to run into is unpredictable. And sometimes even your comedy routines are unpredictable. I had no idea what I was going to say when I got up here. I just figured I'd wing it. If I can make people laugh at a funeral, surely you guys at least laughed once. If you did, I'm successful. I think I did okay.